The empire of Sareth had always prided itself on precision cruelty. When they struck, it was not with rage but with method, a demonstration of superiority. The Meridian colony was a peaceful human outpost orbiting a blue-white star on the galactic frontier, a world of gardens, trade, and art, a place that believed wars were old ghosts left behind on Earth. The Sareth made certain those ghosts returned. Without warning, their dread cruisers descended through the clouds, black hulls glowing red with re-entry heat. They cut through the colony's meager defense drones as one might swat away gnats. No demands, no diplomacy, no cause. Just fire. Cities burned. Atmospheric processors ruptured. Oceans boiled where kinetic rods fell. The screams of 11 million civilians went unanswered as the Sareth broadcast their victory live across galactic channels. The last message from Meridian was a single voice. A young woman, a comms officer who stayed at her post even as her tower melted around her. If anyone can hear this, tell Earth we stood as long as we could. Tell them. The transmission ended in static. When it was over, the Sareth commander, Lord Varun of the 4th Imperial Fleet, ordered the debris field catalogued. "Send their ashes home," he said coldly. "Humans value their sentimentality. Let them grieve. Let them remember who owns this galaxy." Containers of pulverized rock and melted human artifacts were shipped toward Sol space, a deliberate insult. The Empire wanted blood, and they thought they had drawn it. Aye, aye, the mocking silence. In the weeks that followed, the galaxy watched as Earth remained quiet. No retaliatory fleets, no declarations of war, no threats over the interstellar comms. The Galactic Council interpreted the silence as submission. The Sareth interpreted it as fear. Across the Empire's core worlds, propaganda screens showed footage of Meridian's annihilation, edited to heroic music. Soldiers cheered. Civilians toasted. The High Warlord himself spoke before the Senate. "The humans are traders and dreamers, not warriors. Their blood flows easily and they lack the will to spill ours. We struck and they bow. Thus ends the human delusion of equality." When Earth's ambassador requested a council hearing, not for revenge, but for investigation, the Sareth delegation laughed openly in the chamber. "Investigation," hissed Varun, his eyes gleaming. "You mean surrender. You humans were children playing at peace. Meridian was your lesson." The recording of his words went viral. Millions across the galaxy saw humanity mocked before the council floor. The memes came next: fragile Terrans, paper soldiers, the race that bleeds and begs. But beneath the blue skies of Earth, deep under the calm surface of the Pacific, something ancient and sleeping began to stir. Earth's silence was not surrender. It was calculation. Aye, 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 the sound of steel waking. It began with the faint pulse of old codes, buried communication protocols known only to Earth's strategic defense network. Frequencies long dormant whispered through the void. From Luna's hidden shipyards to the orbital foundries of Mars, systems reactivated. Robotic arms that hadn't moved in centuries began forging hulls of impossible alloys. Engines capable of folding reality itself hummed awake. The last time humanity had mobilized its full military strength was during the Orion War, 500 years ago. Since then, Earth had hidden its claws, presenting only science, art, and commerce to the stars. But the claws had never been broken. They had only been sheathed. In a black vault beneath the Himalayas, the Council of Earth Defense gathered. 12 men and women, admirals, strategists, survivors. On the central display, the image of Meridian burned. Admiral Rourke, the oldest among them, spoke softly. They wanted blood. He looked up, eyes cold as void. Then we drowned them in it. Orders cascaded through the solar network. All civilian routes closed, all fleets recalled. The Terran Vanguard fleet, codenamed Acheron, was reactivated. 10,000 ships from corvettes to planet killers, each bearing names whispered in human myth: Nemesis, Leviathan, Ragnarok. Their emergence from slipspace would later be described by witnesses as a sunrise made of knives. And for the first time in centuries, Earth transmitted a message across the galactic network, a simple broadcast, unencrypted, calm, and cold. This is Terra. Meridian fell. We do not seek surrender, apology, or understanding. We seek balance. That single phrase rippled through every empire, every species. Because when humans spoke of balance, it never ended in peace. The Empire's laughter dies. The Sarith fleets assembled near the border worlds, smug in their numbers. 4,000 ships, each bristling with plasma lances and dark matter cannons. Lord Varun himself commanded the defense line. He expected a show of defiance, perhaps a few hundred Terran vessels, seeking revenge in vain. What he got instead was the sky itself turning black. Sensors screamed, space bent, gravitational tides rippled across systems. The Terran fleet emerged in formation, not in panic, not in haste, but in perfect, synchronized silence. Acheron had arrived. Every human ship broadcast the same insignia, a crimson wave crashing through a broken crown. Then came the human ultimatum, voiced in flawless Sarith dialect. By decree of the Terran Federation, the Empire of Sarith stands guilty of genocide. Sentence: extinction of military capacity. Immediate enforcement begins. Varun laughed at first. He ordered his fleet to open fire. The void filled with energy bolts and lances of plasma, a storm that could have shredded moons. But the human shields didn't waver. Their counterstrike began not with guns, but with light. Thousands of rods descended like falling stars, kinetic devastators guided by AI precision. Each impact erased a Sarith cruiser. Then came the rail barrages, slugs traveling at a fraction below light speed, ripping through formations like divine wrath. Within minutes, the first Sarith battle line ceased to exist. Varun's laughter died with his flagship sensors. He watched, stunned, as a wall of Terran dreadnoughts advanced, their hulls scarred black, their drive signatures pulsing like heartbeats. "This can't be real," he whispered. "No one commands this kind of power." But Earth did, and they had chosen to unleash it. The Flood unleashed. The campaign that followed would be known as the 30 Days of Red Rain. Every Sarith system along the border burned. Human shock divisions, orbital paratroopers called the Revenants, descended onto planets under kinetic bombardment, erasing garrisons in hours. Terran AI cruisers infiltrated the Sarith networks, turning their defense satellites against their own cities. Entire fleets vanished into black holes opened by human singularity torpedoes. And through it all, humanity never sent a surrender demand. No negotiation, no diplomacy, only execution. The galaxy watched in stunned silence as empire after empire transmitted emergency declarations. Entire species began fleeing the border zones. The Sarith tried to beg. Their Senate broadcast pleas for mercy, claiming rogue admirals had acted alone. Earth never responded. Instead, a single message was transmitted to every Sarith world: an image feed of Meridian colony before and after the attack. Then came the final line, etched across every screen in blood-red text. You wanted blood, you get a flood. On the 30th day, the human fleet reached the Sareth homeworld. Their defenses, once the pride of a galactic superpower, failed in minutes. Planetary shields shattered under precision bombardment. Varun, now a broken man, made his last transmission from the palace bunker. You cannot destroy us all. The galaxy will not forgive this. You'll drown in the blood you spill. Admiral Rourke replied calmly, "We already are." Moments later, orbital fire consumed the planet. The oceans boiled, the skies ignited. An empire older than many stars ended in one night of human fire. The silence that followed. When the smoke cleared, the Terran fleet did not advance further. They did not occupy. They did not enslave. They simply left. They turned away from the ashes they had made, leaving nothing but ruin behind, and a warning carved into the blackened crust of the Sareth homeworld. Let the galaxy remember, Earth does not start wars. Earth ends them. Across the stars, broadcasts of the genocide vanished overnight. The other empires purged their archives, terrified of being next. In the council halls, no one spoke the word Meridian again. No one mocked the humans. Trade routes opened again months later, cautiously, reverently. Alien diplomats avoided Earth's gaze. When they did speak, it was with phrases like mutual understanding and respectful distance. In the quiet corners of the galaxy, children were told stories of a race that looked kind but carried storms in their hearts. A race that waited in silence until provoked, and then answered with fire enough to drown worlds. The few surviving Sareth refugees spoke only in whispers, their eyes hollow. "We wanted their blood," one was heard muttering. "We called them fragile. And they showed us what fragility truly means." The echo of vengeance. Years later, the ruins of Meridian were rebuilt, not as a colony, but as a memorial. Visitors from 100 species walked among crystalline halls that played the final broadcast of the comms officer, who refused to abandon her post. At the memorial center stood a single human inscription, simple and unadorned. For every tear a tide. For every life taken, a world returned. We do not forget. The galaxy never forgot either. Because after the Sareth War, peace reigned not out of goodwill, but out of terror. No one dared test humanity again. And when whispers arose, when the next empire dreamed of conquest, someone always spoke the words that froze the room. Remember the flood. End of story. They thought they could draw blood from humanity. But when humanity bled, the stars drowned.